I refresh this page, will everything work? Oh, boo-hoo. Let me watch my own stream. Don't tell me about that. Okay. Never mind. There we go. Okay, good. Now it's gonna be awesome. Well, we'll come in and y'all get in. I don't know how well the notification system's gonna work because I went to schedule this one, but I don't, we'll see. We'll see about it. I'm shuffling the tarot, but I feel like using the shadow first. You saw the notification? That's what's up. Okay. I'm just making sure. I'd never done that before, so I didn't know how that was gonna work. And I accidentally scheduled it for tomorrow when I first did it, so I was like, huh. But welcome in. I was up. I didn't fall asleep after eating. I mean, I'm not tired. So here we are. I'm gonna begin with the shadows, honestly. I feel like doing that. I don't know. It just feels like the play. It just feels like the play. So we're gonna go see what the readings are after the collective. We'll do the 2 cards. I felt called to do the collective reading first. I should have put that in the title first, but I mean. But let's see what's going on with y'all, with the energy, with everything, and see how things move forward in this, because I'm interested today. Well, I'm always interested, but today just feels different. Today just feels very, very different. And welcome in, y'all, welcome in. Let's see here. Why does wrath always come out? Probably just cloudy mindedness. Not right now, but eventually you can. After the collective reading you can, but right now, it's gonna be a no. Because I can't be jumping back and forth like that. But with wrath, again, it's like clear thinking. I don't know why wrath keeps popping out like that. Wrath has been a very common theme. I don't know if that is because of past traumas coming up that are being healed, a form of like temperament that's being put into place, or just, maintaining clear thinking. But all in all, it's a lot to do with self-control, and I feel like that might just be like the general theme as well, with like the retrogrades and how they are just controlling the self more. But wrath always wants to pop out. So really, more again, like self-control. How is this self-control gonna be for today? We have Cancer energy. Well, not Cancer energy, that's hilarious, I said that. We have Cancer to sign out. We have Beelzebub and Astrothoth. So we'll look at what that's talking about. Okay. So we have deception, a trick, blackmail, a temperament, cruelty towards a love partner, unpleasant journey, manipulation, bureaucracy, self-flagellation, victim, lack of direction, self-destruction, repression. Okay. So I feel like this is just more of expressing yourself. That self-focused on expression. Really allowing yourself to say what you desire to say and be who you desire to be. Whether this is towards someone else or you personally, it needs to be seen. There might be some past issues where in the past you weren't able to express yourself because it wasn't taken seriously. You were ridiculed or scrutinized for it or however, but that past cycle no longer is a thing that you're in. I feel like this is why that wrath keeps popping out. It's just because it's focusing so much on like small different parts of it. This could be because of past betrayals as well. when learning how to express yourself, all again, from an original point of view, it's important to remember that the people that you are around and that you express yourself to, you can't necessarily control how they are, and they can't necessarily control how you are. And it's this back and forth like seesaw effect where you're wishing someone to accept something the way that you bring it in the past, or it could be present, however, and they don't accept it that way. So that makes you sort of dim your own light and shift and morph into a character that would more suit them. A lot of people do this because they think it's like the right thing to do, but unfortunately, that dims your own light. That then makes you a mold for other people to decide how they want you to be. So being aware of that, seeing, and it's a form of people pleasing as well, but being aware of how in the past that people pleasing self is kind of shedding away or even popping up right now to show you how to get away from that type of energy, how to move away from being that people pleaser archetype at this time. Again, and it's also about having a sense of direction, keeping that clear mind, knowing that if you're desiring to move forward with something that you can. If it's not like reciprocated, that's okay. That's not your fault. Always keeping in mind that you being the original version of who you desire to be isn't something to be ashamed of or something to hide. We have magic circle, which is security, protection, confidence, concentrated energy, initiation of a successful venture, solidity, and comfortable environment. Again, so this is just allowing you to be more confident with yourself, allowing you to really delve into the true nature of you. Maybe you are just an extremely lovey person and you go around saying I love you to people, but you're afraid of saying it to someone because you don't want them to take it a different way. Why are you afraid of them taking it a different way? What different way could they take it in other than it just being love, right? And that's kind of what you have to like boil it down to. No matter how it is for you, it doesn't have to just be like saying I love you to people. It could be anything. But looking at it from that angle, why would they take it a different way if they already weren't in that type of energy with you in the first place, right? So you kind of have to like gauge that out. If you say something to someone and they get really mad at you and explode, it's because they're already mad at you in the first place. There's already something that's an awry with them inside of them when it comes to communication between you and them. And it doesn't mean that you said something wrong. It's just that person ended up getting that trigger word that set them off instead, right? Doesn't matter if it's anger, doesn't matter if it's uh love, however this is for you, it doesn't matter. That energy is already present within that individual, and just that circumstance is what it caused it, right? So understand that. Be confident. Allow yourself to be more comfortable with how you're wanting to express yourself and what you're desiring to do. And then we have Star of Lucifer, which is Aquarius. I gotta go all the way back to the back of the book too. XV, so that's two back. One more. Yeah, intuition, confidence, a sense of direction, occult mastery, egoism, obstinacy, temptation, faithlessness, the perfect time to implement new plans or projects. So again, try doing that today. Really allow yourself to express yourself in an authentic way. If heavily follow your intuition. I've been getting a bunch of signs about that whenever I rose anyway. It's just following the intuition. But this is about building that confidence up within yourself to fully move forward in those ways that you're desiring to. Being aware of that fully at this time is what you're truly needing to do. Staying away from the parts of you that believe one thing and rather just knowing it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when we're on this path, we'll believe that we are currently doing something, but it's not until we're actually put to the test by an external force that we realize that we actually haven't been doing those things, or that we've been doing them, but we haven't been putting a lot of focus on them. So remaining in that humble state is really key at this point in time. Allowing yourself to be confident but not egotistical when it comes to it. Not allowing your ego, your rational minded self to say I've already done all that work whenever you know deep down inside that all that work has not been done actually, and the work's not going to be done until you leave this plane. That's simply how it is. There's always going to be an extra level for you to work on when it comes to that. So allowing yourself to really see that part of you, to see how, again, that's how the ego is. The rational mind is such a tricky thing to where it will make you feel like, oh, you've done all these things, but you truly never have. Because if you've done it, then why is that still attracted to you? Why is it something that you still constantly hear? Because you haven't done it all the way through yet. You've completed a past cycle of it for sure, but there's more to learn. There's more of that expansion, excuse me, that you still need to do and work on with that subject. So really overstand it on that point of view, because the work will never be done until you leave this physical plane. That is just simply how it is, and even then, the work isn't done. You know what I mean? We're here for an eternity. There's not going to be an end to anything. It's always going to be current. It's always going to be now. It's something that everyone has to, is going to have to work on at one point or another, whether consciously or unconsciously. So it's understanding things on that type of barrier, really seeing the truth of it rather than letting the rational self dictate what you have done, what you haven't done. That's a sense of that ego. That's a sense of that control. Feeling like you need to have that control is what keeps you from truly diving into those messages, keeps you from diving into what you're desiring to. We have solicity, which is heightened sensuality, lust, lack of spirituality, materialism, lack of sexual discrimination, adultery, Hinduism, and excessive indulgence in sex. So this could be a sacral chakra. The sacral chakra has been popping up a lot recently as well. Sacral chakra issues could be a thing. Other than that, just really heightened feelings like the heart chakra, the sacral chakra, sensuality. There may be a sense of lust, desiring for more. Really seeing where that's coming from, especially if you are in a relationship, or if you're not or are, it doesn't matter. If you're dealing with those types of things, really see why they're happening. If you're experiencing a lot of libido and issues of that nature, it's because you have some creativity. Your sacral chakra is working. It's at its max. So instead of wasting that energy by, either, doing what you gotta do, really allow yourself to be more in a creative mood. Allow yourself to be in a more of a creative standpoint than running around and spending that fuel on other things. We have black mass, which is the energy of Saturn. This is just a text. So we have black mass, a crisis is imminent, squabbles, quarrels, rigidity, seclusion, loneliness, snobbery, conservatism, dogmatism, roughness, idolatry, and so again, I feel like a lot of it could be because of this loneliness. A lot of the sensuality that you've been feeling is rooting in a core depth of loneliness. A lot of people will love to say, "Oh, I'm good being alone. I don't mind not being around people," but they're lying to themselves at the end of the day. There's always going to be someone that they're desiring to be around, whether that is, the version of God that they want to be in or not. You wouldn't need to follow anything if you truly weren't lonely. It's that overstanding. Again, that's the rational mind doing its best thing. Overstand like why you might be in this very sensual energy, why things might be very heartfelt and very feelings oriented at this time. Really seeing like why. Maybe you're having memories, dreams, or however of past relationships, and they keep popping up, and it's like you keep pushing them back down in your mind. You don't want to think about them, like, oh, it doesn't matter. I've already healed through all this, yada yada yada, whatever, right? It's popping up for a reason, and it might be trying to show you that you're still desiring a relationship of a form like that, just not from that particular individual. When you're going through that healing process, don't push these things back down. These are trying to show you what you're desiring within a relationship or within yourself or whatever you're trying to do, solo or some whatever. It's trying to show you what you're desiring, and allow that desire to be shown. Allow that part of you to be indulged into, so you can see the truth of it. We get so attached to the flesh, and we tend to forget that the only reason why we have memories of the people in the flesh is because that's all we have to compare it to. The rational mind needs to compare it to something. That's showing proof that you're not fully within that imaginative state. You're not in that full state of just being able to create without having something on the physical mirror back to you instantly. So it's using that as a gateway for you to manifest what you're desiring. A lot of times you think that you'll manifest that person back or however, but if you have your intention set straight, you won't. If you have that shakiness, that fear, you might attract someone that's similar to them or however, right? You need to like strengthen that part up. We have swagger with 56, which is self-affirmation, coldness, conceitness, Proud contempt of others, anger, hatred, hotness, anxiety, uh, presaging unpleasant events, loneliness, failed expectations, repulsion, or as a result of loneliness. So again, it's like really seeing why you're in this energy, seeing why you're repelling things, seeing why things might be a bit cold for you. If you've grown cold towards other, if you've known that you've kind of, not, you're not as talkative as you need to be, or you're not as direct as you need to be, or maybe you're too direct, or however, however it is for you and how you're observing yourself, right? It's seeing that and realizing where it's coming from, and it's coming from that shadow part of you, that past part of you that's still scolded, that's still hurt, that still needs that healing. And again, this is why we don't push those things back down. It's why we focus on them and see them for what they're trying to show us, so we're no longer stuck in that shadow element, that element of needing nurturing, right? We have ghost, which is memories, attachment to the past events, desire to live in the past, an intermediate agent, connectivity with others, with the other world, important information and rumors. So again, this is about those memories. You might be dealing with that. I mean, Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde coming together. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So just that's the test, though. Is just seeing, like, are you able to move past this? Do these memories still make you mad? Do they still make you uncomfortable? Are you unable to sit there in totality and digest these things still? Are you having issues? Not to say that one's better than the other. It's just to say that this is showing you that that work needs to be made. There could be someone in your life who's helping you with that, that's causing those things to pop up. This could just be you on your own. However, it's seeing it from a point of view, a higher point of view, a beneficial point of view, and allowing that to move forward. Your thoughts create your reality. So if you're thinking that this individual is trying to hurt you in these dreams and whatever, or like you think that they're doing something, then that's going to be your next reality. Now your nervous system is going to respond to that, and every time that happens, it's going to send you those shocks and all those things. So really see them for as they are at this time. Really allow yourself to delve into that deeper part of you, and heal those parts that have been ignored, that have been trying to show themselves. But we gotta get a clarification card for this one. So the last two cards is the Four Winds: instability, new experiences, new ideas, quick solutions, force of intellect, change, transition, a journey, a chameleon, swift and impulsive action. So this is the goal today, is to really see that, get a new idea from it, experience something new. Whether that experience is a new form of expression that you're doing, or you taking the time to rest in a different way, you taking the time to communicate in different ways. However this is, working on a new project, instead of just thinking about, instead of being in a meditative state and doing shadow work in that sense, do shadow work making art, something along those lines, to create a new bountiful energy around you. But the final card is Angelica Herb, which is protection, patronage, guardianship, amulet, good health, cleansing, guardians from the heaven, good fortune, and new enterprises. Whatever way you work with this in this new way, in this new higher depth, is going to be beneficial for you. The guardian, you have your guardians, your angels, your ancestors, your ascended masters, whomever and whatever watching over you at this time. They're really trying to persuade you to kind of look at things in this type of way, seeing these things from a higher standpoint, so that you're not so stuck within the fear set, or not the lack mindset, or whichever mindset you may be stuck in or in struggling with. Doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be a mindset that you're stuck in or indulging in all the time. You can move forward. You can push past those boundaries, but you need to be able to see things from a higher point. It's getting to that vantage point is the trick. And it's not that you're not at the vantage point, it's just you're not seeing it from that point of view. It's like, instead of looking straight at the object, you're still trying to look down at it. You're still observing the area around it, rather than trying to look at it head on. So instead of looking at the impact, what it's created around it, what it may have created inside of you, right? Look at the event as it is in totality. Look at it as, as it was in default. That's going to be hard for some people to do, but that's the trick. That's the goal. That the divine is trying to get to. It's the detachment point. It's where you no longer are feeling these sort of things. And it's going to take a while. It's not going to be something that's done immediately. It's going to be something that's going to take a few seconds. It's going to take, a few seconds. You know what I mean. but it's going to take a while to really dive into this, to dive into this totality, um, with yourself and in your surroundings at this time. So we have the Five of Pentacles. Really, today is just a goal, if you can, to see what is holding you back. What has kept you out in the cold in the past? What has allowed you to be so restrictive, to almost cut, like, hold yourself out, like you've cut the rope off from certain people due to like fears? Maybe you've depended on certain external forces that haven't made you feel the best. All these things is just really focusing on why you've allowed this rational part of yourself to talk about your feeling space, your heart space, in certain ways, to create boundaries, to create blockages even within your path and around you. Really seeing that today is going to help you move forward. You know, whether, no matter what situation this is, it could be a relationship, friendship, you know, family members, however, you know, just really seeing it. It could even be a loss of a pet, or a loss of a loved one that's made you more secluded, that's drawn you back more. It could have even been an event where maybe your last words to someone were something specific and you're feeling like saying that to someone else. But that fear, that trauma is still there, so you're afraid to say those things because, you know, you don't have that ability to say it, right? Like, some people have a hard time saying goodbye because they say goodbye, and, you know, to a family member, and then they ended up passing away, and like working through that trauma, things of that nature. It's just seeing why that's there, and it doesn't mean it has to be solved immediately, but the first step is observing it. So really just focus, if you can, if you need to focus on that today, because that's these cycles here, these beginning, these root works, right, that we're going to be working through, is the start of why you haven't been having victory in certain positions. It's the reason why you haven't been able to move forward so abundantly with certain ideas, with certain things. It's this backdrawing effect. So really paying attention to that, really allowing your higher senses to come through and not be blocked by what the rational mind wants to tell you, or what the rational mind is trying to protect you from. This is the scepter. This is what the mother's trying to give you. This is that completion where you're going to be able to move forward, but first you have to grab that scepter. It's not the fact that you don't have it, it's the fact that you have to go within inside of yourself and grab it. You already have it within you, but now mother's asking you to have your heads above the cloud, to really see things in a higher state of view, and move forward in that energy. Move forward, with her, with mother, so that you're able to nurture yourself through this, because you already have what you need. It's just you haven't been using it. It's either you haven't been using it, or you haven't been using it correctly. The scepter that you have may have been a bit much. You know, learning the lessons that you had to learn may have caused more confusion. Digging into things in certain ways may have caused more confusion. You've just been using that scepter the wrong way. Instead of drawing things up from the divine, from the heavens, you've been drawing things from the physical and trying to create things on the physical to manifest things on the physical, which isn't how you. That's not going to work that way. So really seeing that you have the scepter, seeing that you do have all you need at this point in time to move forward with this healing, with this shadow work, with this root work, however this is for you, for this introspection, you know, for this pondering. Seeing that is what's going to help you move forward in a brighter, grander way. So at this time, really focus on that. Really see what parts of you've almost been using wrong, what lessons you've allowed to be more of a handicap, or a withdrawal point rather than a progression point. Because again, there's something about not mastering the idea. You know what it is, you know the main idea that the divine was trying to teach you, the lesson that the divine was trying to show you, but you haven't allowed that to really be that flame for you, to keep you alive, to keep you kindled. So really seeing it in that sense, what's been drawing you back from that? What's been keeping you from being in that full flame energy where you're able to eventually move forward, right? Because it's like that flame is there, but it's not being kindled correctly. That lesson is learned, but it's not being interpreted correctly. It might be interpreted correctly on your own, but when it comes down to the actual physical test, that's what you're trying to focus on. That's what you're trying to see grander is. Why is there that disconnect between you and the external? Why is that disconnect there still? Why can't things move forward properly in that way? It could even be seeing things on the external in certain ways, but not being able to do it internally in a different way. However this is for you, seeing that part. Because again, it's this lack of emotional or feelings maturity. It's this lack of digesting the feelings properly. You're drowning in some sort of feeling, and you're not allowing yourself to really move forward with it. That flame isn't being nurtured, it's being drowned out, it's being silenced. You're not swimming above that water, you're not above that threshold. You're allowing that part of you to consume you in that sense. So, really look back at it. Take time to see what was truly being taught and what's keeping you from, fully pushing through those lessons, pushing through those thought forms that are keeping you from doing what you need to do, the senses that are being overloaded by certain thoughts of, oh, I can't say this, I can't say that because XYZ in the past. Well, that's the past. Why do you have that desire to live in the past? And you might say that you don't, but if you use the past as a crutch, you're desiring to live in the past. You're desiring to still be in that victimized energy where you're not sure of what to do. And that's what you really have to sit down and realize is you're not in that energy anymore. You've moved past it. And there's proof of it because you're not around those same individuals anymore. If you're in a situation with those individuals and you're working through this, take this time to not victimize yourself. Not to say that this is just a shitty situation, you don't know how to get out. Take this time to build up things so that you can get out, because you have those two choices of either letting the things happen and putting that pressure on you to put you under, or you have that chance to be able to mold and create something better for you at this time. Whatever the case, don't move forward without the divine. Don't think that it's all just going to be something on the physical. Don't just think that pushing forward on the physical is what's going to get you out. You need to also work with the divine. And if you have been working with the divine and only with the divine, do some of the physical work too. Don't forget that it's a hand-in-hand operation. Once you work with one part, when you start receiving from that one part, it's a sign for you to start pushing on the other part. If you're not receiving on the physical, start working in the spiritual. If you're not receiving things in the spiritual, then start working on the physical. You have to work in tangent with it, to go back and forth with it. Balancing it out is the whole game, is the key of this. So seeing what you need to do, seeing how you need, which part of you needs to be on hold and which part of you needs to be moving forward, right? The only way you can truly do this is by not allowing these thoughts to damage that, or not even damage, but these thoughts to convert and contort those feelings that you have. It's not that you're heartbroken or that your heart's not right or whatever. That's not what it is. Your heart's going to be pure in totality. It's your thoughts. It's the mind. It's the rational self that blames it on the heart, because the heart can feel. The brain is something that can't feel. It can generate feelings. It can understand how to create them, but it cannot feel itself. It has to be it uses that nervous system operation to send signals everywhere else. So that heart pain that you feel is really coming from the mindset, those thoughts that are there that are being buried up by a loud feeling. That loud feeling being actually another thought. That first thought you ever get is a feeling. The brain just doesn't understand it. It has to translate it into words. It's not fluent in that sense. That's why we have this vessel, so we can also feel what we need to feel and not just overthink about it. And again, these thoughts are what's keeping you stuck. These thoughts, this test of thinking, this the surrounding thoughts, the thoughts that you have about the external, about your situations, are what's really keeping you in this bound energy, when they shouldn't be keeping you in a bound energy. They should be showing you a new way out. So it's not even about, again, like controlling your thoughts or ignoring your thoughts. It's about letting them be, but seeing where they're coming from. Why are they there? And the only way you can truly do that is by cleaning out this feeling space, allowing yourself to feel more, allowing the divine to nurture you in that sense, asking for that healing, asking for that health, asking for that clearing of yourself, taking a bath, doing whatever you need to do to rid of those anxieties, those pressures, getting massages, doing exercises, doing certain stretches to remove that pressure, right? Seeing those things and allowing the divine to enter your heart space, allowing mother to enter your heart space, allowing both parts of you to work intertwined, and so the divine dove can come through and quarter all the things that it needs to quarter within you, the wands, the cups, the swords, the pinnacles, the ideas, to the feelings, to the thoughts, the external reality. All that can be solved with just truly one action, but you're needing to allow the action to occur and to happen. So again, watch out for your thoughts. Don't allow your thoughts to sabotage you at this time. Don't allow your thoughts to put you in this victimized state. Don't lie to yourself, but at the same time, don't allow yourself to fall for the traps of that rational mind itself. Keeping that balance, keeping an eye on who you are, And again, learning how to speak fish, learning how to speak to yourself, learning that feeling state is what you're needing to do at this time. Really seeing things from a different point of view, allowing yourself to begin. You're on the cusps. The cusp are the cusp of the queens and the kings, of the cardinal and the fixed signs. So really seeing how you're transitioning from the start into a bit more of a stability point before you can move on the physical, because again, things feel stuck, things feel like they're not moving forward because there's a part of you that still hasn't moved on from something in the past. Part of you is still held back by a past podium that you've tied yourself to. So you're needing to actualize that, see what that truly is, so you can move forward, so you can escape whatever the hiccup is, whatever this binding part of you is attracted to. So really focus on that at this time, if you can, if you feel like you need to, or however, right? Just know at the end of the day that these restrictions, they're coming from parts of you that need to be seen. And there's not that it's wrong, it's not that it's bad, but it's just something that you know deep down inside that needs to be worked on. So allow yourself to just work on it if you need. And if not, maybe you will in the future. However, these lessons are just here to show you a different path, to show you a different healing part, to show you a different mechanism within your own vessel to move past certain boundaries. And not just even certain boundaries, but certain ways of life that are no longer serving you. Um, and it comes down to really just being expressive, allowing yourself to have the confidence to be expressive at this time. But we have Panda, which is boundaries. Your space is sacred. Guests who overstay their welcome and impact your aura, and you have every right to stand your ground. Your needs are important. You must nurture your soul with the same gentle love and support you offer to others. Raven, which is confidence. You are encouraged to disconnect from the physical or material plane and move towards the spiritual realm. You have a deep spiritual connection which you mustn't ignore. You're on the brink of transformation and your divine purpose may be revealing itself. Owl, which is observation. You're being encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances into the true reality of a situation or person's motives. You need to hear what is really being said despite the words or emotions coming from the messenger. And Hedgehog, which is trust. This is a reminder that even if you feel others don't understand or get you or what you're doing, it's no excuse to curl up and hide. Sure, you may need a little bit of space right now, but the world needs your gifts. You are more than worthy. And we're gonna go get the angel cards, and then after that, we can start doing some 2 card pulls and whatever else. Well, can y'all get in there? So we have Justice with Archangel Raguel. Fight for justice and equality, rulings made in your favor, and don't give up. The Queen of Gabriel, passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want, the ability to attract helpful people. The Lovers, Archangel Raphael. Make choices from your heart, deeply emotional commitments, and the power of love. The High Priestess, Archangel Anael. Powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation that provides valuable information, and be at peace. Nana Raphael, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. The Ace of Ariel, it's your lucky day, new resources of money, time, or support, a change in job or promotion. The Ten of Ariel, there's so very much to be grateful for, financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. And last but not least, the Ace of Michael, a wonderful new idea. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication problems with others. And that is the collective reading. If you're needing 2 card pulls from either the tarot deck, the animal deck, the shadow deck, or the angels deck, let me know, and we'll work on that Also, let me know what you need the 2 card about, and we'll work with that and see what we can get. But regardless, that is the reading. Just working on being more expressive, working on being more authentic within that self and not pushing past, not pushing away. Excuse me, that healing source, that healing focus at this time. But yeah, if anyone needs 2 card pulls, now is the time. And the 2 card pulls are free. Donations are appreciative but not necessary. Um, but yeah, other than that, if there's like any questions or anything, I do my best to answer those as well. Well, I need to know what deck you need from. I don't really need all the zodiac information or anything. That doesn't really do anything for readings. Because I'm not really reading your chart. But I need to know what deck. Tarot deck, angel deck, animal deck, shadow deck. Either one of those. Welcome in. Great to see you too. Shadow Tarot. I need you to choose like directly which one. I'm not gonna choose for you. Um, you can get one from each if that's what you're desiring, but you need to choose. It's like, it's your reading. I can't. I'm not gonna interfere on that choice part. I got you for the tarot. So what's going on for the goals in marriage? Yeah, I guess we could do a 5-card split. That was a 6-card, but who cares? So let's see here. Your first card is Temperance. Right now, a good goal would just be finding a balance within yourself. Finding this balance in the form of nurturing, allowing yourself to fill up your own cup by doing what you've desired to do on the physical and within the spiritual. Really allowing your heart to guide you at this time is the path that's needing to be taken. And make sure that you are like being balanced. If you've been too much on the physical, make sure you're spending more time within the spiritual realms, meditating, talking with your guides, calling on your angels, etc. If you've been too much on the spiritual, make sure that you're spending more time on the physical, talking to people, making connections, things of that nature. Keeping that balance is really needed at this time. But really, at this point in time, really nurture yourself, pouring into your own cup, would be the best advice for you at this time. With the Hierophant reverse, there's a bit of a disconnect when it comes to how to use the keys that you have, how to use the wisdom, how to use the placements that you have right now when it comes to things. So really asking yourself what you're desiring. If it is something to do with marriage, what are you desiring within a marriage? Are you desiring, if you're already in a marriage, how are you desiring that marriage to move forward? If you're not in a marriage, how are you desiring a marriage to go out for you? This can be, that might, but that's my, if I can speak, that is what might needs to be focused on when it comes down to this balancing of really seeing, if you are in a marriage, how you can bring a bit more of whichever reality into it without being too forceful on the on the other individual. But if it's not yet a marriage, focus on how you would desire when to come through. Ask yourself what you've been wanting, what you're desiring within a marriage. Are you wanting it to be a spiritual marriage? Are you wanting it to be like in just a normal marriage? How are you wanting to blend these two worlds in? Focus on blending right now is really a heavy topic for you right now. It's just getting that higher self alignment, getting that higher self knowledge, connecting to your higher self, even, doing meditations and asking to connect to your higher self, or just asking your higher self what you're desiring or what the next plan is, and then like journaling or typing something out, however, scripting. But doing that this time is going to be very beneficial for you, because it's not that you don't have anything in line. It's like you're already trying to get this balance in the first place, but there needs to be a bit more overstanding of what you're balancing out, what you're desiring truly, and not just focused on the stature of things. But really, like, there's always going to be a balance no matter what. It's up to you to figure out how that balance is going to be for you. There's not like a one way balance for this. You know, there's the balance that you're going to want. Are you wanting it to be like a 30-70, a 50-50? All these things when it comes down to the spiritual and the physical. And that's where you're trying to, that's what you're just trying to find. There's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just what suits you the best. So focus on that so you can move forward with the keys that you already have. Of course, that's what I'm here for. I appreciate love that you. I appreciate love your support. Is what I meant to say. I don't know why I said but I appreciate love your support. Thank you so much. But yeah, if anyone else needs a reading or anything, questions or whatever, let me know. If you're wanting a personal, full-on personal reading, you can go to the website that I have. And fill out those things there. You can either email me about that as well if you want to. It doesn't matter. We have multiple ways to input the information. Either way, and any of the ways really work. So, or any of the other servers that I have as well. So, whatever you feel truly called for. But yeah, hopefully everyone's been doing well. Hopefully it hasn't been too rough. I know most of everyone's probably at church right now, since a lot of people on this channel do go to the church. But regardless, even if you're not, how long have I had my platform and how has it been? I've had it for almost 2 years, and it's been well up until recently. YouTube's really been putting the hammer down on informative and helpful channels. They've been shadow banning a lot of people, and then saying that it doesn't exist, which is, I think, is a suable offense. I was up last night thinking about how would you go about suing YouTube for that, but that's a lot of money and a lot of time that I don't have currently, so I can't do anything about it. But it's been good up until recently. They're just like weird and shadow banning. Other than that, it's been a really good time. I really can't complain. You know, weird stuff happens all the time. But I've had it for about 2 years. And yeah, I got you. I can get you animal cards. Let's see what's going on for you and the animal cards. I guess we'll split that there then. But your cards are as butterfly metamorphosis. Pay attention to the areas in your life or personality that are in need of profound change or transformation. You are about to enter a phase of expansion and growth, which will be highly beneficial for your future. And owl, observation. You are being encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances into the true reality of a situation or person's motives. You need to hear what's really being said despite the words and emotions coming from the messenger. So right now, be a lot more observatory. Look at things and how they're changing around you, whether that's people, whether that's yourself. However, just really have an increased focus of what you're desiring to do and changing yourselves not immediately but day by day to match that frequency. Of course, if it's something that you truly desire internally, it's something that you'll start to match on your own, in a subconscious way, but you can always do something on the physical to help you more. So just kind of seeing like where you're at, where you're wanting to be, and brainstorming on the path to move forward to that. I'm making sure that all the animal cards are not upright, so I'm just flipping them right. Of course, all of y'all are upside down too. But yeah, that is what's being asked at this time. I don't know why I have to flip all these cards upright. I've been like putting tarot cards in the correct order for the past like week, and it's just become a little bit of an addiction. I'm not gonna lie. Because I don't know. Once I got through like 5 decks of putting the cards in the order, I immediately just could not stop. Everything else had to be put had to be put in order. But I mean, that's what I get for selling some of my decks. Yeah, it's a cleansing of sorts. I've just been selling some of the decks that I'm not using anymore, and it's how are all these upright? Some of these used to be upside down. I guess not. I guess we're just good. We are solid. But yeah, it definitely is a bit of a cleansing. Honestly, I like to see how fast I can get it done too. That's another thing. I really enjoy like seeing how fast I can put the cards in order. I don't know. It's very interesting though. But yeah, I've been doing that for a while. I've been doing a lot more studies on the cards as well. for the tarot classes, which I still needed like it's gonna take a while for me to fully finish those that class, just because of the imagery and stuff, and getting all that definitions and stuff written down, and making some more videos for the classes and stuff. But like other than that, how to do my studies, I just meditate on the cards. So like here, I mean we could just use the full. Yeah, we'll just use the full. So I haven't broke the full all the way down yet. I mean I have. No, I have. I have to open up my notes though, and I can't see where they're at. I gotta do a lot of shit for this. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll look at the card and I'll see like the color of the background, the color of the clothes, what the clothes are looking like, what's in the hands, the animal on the card, everything of that nature. I go down to the symbology of everything, the numerology, what the name of the card even means, everything of that nature. So like the Fool just means green, something that's new. It doesn't necessarily mean someone that's foolish, because the word on the card would literally be foolish if it meant someone who was foolish, right? There wouldn't be that sort of like assumption needing to be made. Let me look up the Fool here. I don't have anything written down for the Fool. I only have the Ace of Cups, don't I? Okay. So anyway, I have the Ace of Cups, like, not all the way, but pretty much done. So we can just break down the Ace of Cups real quickly. Yeah, the symbology is important, and knowing the truth of it, not the modern day interpretations. We're talking about the actual like meaning of it. Like any hand that's in a cloud is representing the divine handing you something. Not many people know that. Many people just think that it's the God, or that's just an invisible hand. That's the divine handing you something. The dove is the holy dove. The quartering that it holds in its mouth is identified as the wafer, and that has all four corners. Those four corners are the four elements, surrounded by the circle, which is spirit, which is why when it's entering the cup, the water is flowing out and it's abundant at the bottom, because that's spirit-filled water. The W on the cup is actually an M. It stands for matter, and that M is also broken down to another symbol with the two lines and the mountain in the middle, the little upside down V in the middle. That is the unification of your two sides, the masculine and the feminine, the physical and the spiritual. All sorts of things. The lilies represent peace, fertility, abundance. Breaking it down all like that, even down to like the color, like the golden cup. Gold is like the symbol of abundance, of riches, of fertility, and things of that nature. So just breaking things down in that sense and going through that with all the cards, the astrology of the card and everything. Aces are all the signs. So the Ace of Cups is all the water signs put together. I break it down all the way like that. Everything on the card is made with intention, and everything on the card has a deeper meaning than what the eye will normally see, because it was, I mean, just if you even look up like Pamela Coleman Smith, if you just look up her life and know who she is, you would read the cards completely differently. She was an occultist, she was an artist, an actor, very, very intuitive, tapped in, part of the Golden Dawn, like worked beside Aleister Crowley and other like people of that nature. She made the tarot deck. The original tarot deck didn't have any of the major arcana, so she made all the major arcana. Which the arcana, major arcana just means big secrets, and minor arcana is just lesser secrets, greater and lesser, So if you study who Pamela Coleman is, you'll really figure out that everything has a very, very deep intention to it. It's not just made to look pretty or to fill in negative space like some people make their custom cards to be. Everything on the card has a meaning. Like even with the swords, all the swords have clouds on it. Have you noticed that? Most of it, except for the 9. We'll say the 9 doesn't have clouds, the 8 doesn't have clouds, the 4, the ones that are outside have clouds, right? Let me get the Knight real quick. I forgot the name of the clouds, but I will look them up immediately because I can never remember the clouds. Why did the G pop up there? Yeah, anyway. This is a Cirrus cloud, right? The Cirrus clouds on the card. Most of the other ones, let me pull out it. Where's the king at? Because I'll show you. They have like cumulus clouds on it, and they're all made like with intention. Like there's the cumulus clouds, that's just showing it storing something. The Cirrus clouds, there's an action being made. Everything down to those intentions have a meaning. Like they were not just drawn for no reason. Everything has an intention. And a lot of people skip over that and don't pay attention to it. Um, I tend to look into those things. That's where I stray apart from most readers, from most people. But I break it all the way down to those levels because everything means. Why did I change Subliminal? Just needed to rebrand. Just needed to rebrand. I don't stay stagnant. It's in the festival for sure. Yeah, it's in the details. Everything's in the details. Cause like there's three things I look at when I'm reading tarot, which is the numerology, the suits, and the astrology of the card. Those are like the three main important parts of the card. And then I look at the card. So if we're messing with anything to do with fives are every five in the tarot is about despair. It's about your five senses. Uh, it's about matter and time interacting with the physical plane or with the human body. With four being matter and time, right? So I'll look at all of that before I do anything, and then I'll move forward. And if if any of the imagery catches my eye during the reading, personal or collective, that's when I'll start going into deeper detail about what it could be, and everything like that. Because you can channel and read the cards like some people do, but they're not actually reading the cards. They're just allowing the divine to like tell them this is what it is, rather than truly understanding the art form of itself. Because tarot is more than what meets the eye. It is a book of life. It's about the connectivity between you, yourself, and how to get back to mother, which is the original goal. Your goal is not to go to father. In fact, you're inside of father. You're surrounded by father. Father is time and matter. Mother is the divine, which where you came from, the great beyond, the deep blue, the darkness, right? That's mother. The nurturing point. The start before the start. It is not bad to channel with the cards, but when you really start to know what the cards mean, and it's not just based off of, oh, this word means this to me, and yada yada yada, and letting your ego take care of it and making it in that sense, it's like you'll begin to like use both. Because because I still channel a bit when I do readings too, right? It's not that I'm not channeling, but there's a lot more that goes into depth of it rather than me pulling the Empress card out and going, oh, you're the Empress. No shit, that's the card that you're describing. Yeah, but what does it mean? Why are you not saying their fertility is there? Why are you not saying they're surrounded by abundance? Why are you not saying that they're in the feminine element? All these other things that are like there and very obvious get skipped over because people don't like look at things, or they'll see tower and they'll say it's a tower moment. But do you understand that the tower is represented by the Jack and Jill riddle? And you're losing your crown means you're losing your head. You've lost your head. You've forgotten who you were, what you were doing. You took the long road. Water falls. You don't need to climb up a tower to go get the water. Why are you falling down something then when you could have just stayed at the base and not gone that whole journey? What made you go that way? Why did you, take a separate path? All these different things, but most readers won't look deeply into it because, there it is. Jack and Jill went up a hill to catch a pail of water. Jack fell down and lost his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. It's all in the card. And that's a gypsy thing. That's when you start jumping into like why the gypsies use tarot and the riddles that the gypsies held in. How long did it take? I've only been reading for about a year. I'm gonna be real with you. This is more than like, this isn't something that was like, oh, I just felt like doing it. This is an actual calling for me. Um, I've only been reading tarot for about almost 2 years, and about 5, 6, 7 months ago, I got a mentor, and he's one of the top readers in the world, and he's been breaking this stuff down as well, and we get together sometimes and talk about like tarot and like life and spirituality and what's going on and everything of that nature. So it's just been an interesting calling to walk down. Like even Humpty Dumpty, the riddle of Humpty Dumpty's in the card. All the king's horses and all the king's men, which is literally the knights, the king, and the pages. Right? Where's the page at? Give me a page. Where's one at? Come on. I want to show it like in totality. Come on. Wow. I can't find a page. Anyway, you need the queens. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put it back together because no matter how much you work, if you're not nurturing it, it's not going to flourish and grow. The egg is you. The egg is your soul. It's your ego. It's your carrying point. Once your yolk is out and open and that shell is cracked, you can't be put back together until nurturing. So there's a lot, but it's a lot of people read tarot the European way, which is where a lot of people say tarot was invented in Italy. No, tarot was invented back with the Egyptians and the Kemetites. Most people read tarot in the same way that the European housewives did, which is perfectly fine. But those are parlor games, and the only reason why you would see a gypsy read in those terms is because they were basically scamming the Europeans back because it's their art form. And why would you steal someone's art form and not know nothing about it? Because they're just going to steal the way you're doing it and do it 10 times better because it's their art form. So they're going to know how to switch it up on you. But that's really what's going on, is a battle between like just education. Just a battle between education. Let's just keep it real. And there's no like wrong or fallacy in it ever. It depends on how you want to read the cards and use the things. Um, Me personally, I don't really use the cards for divination because there's way better forms of divination than tarot cards. So I'm waiting to get like different like divination sets, like bone throwing sets. Um, I'm gonna get like candles and stuff to do like either like wax readings or like smoke readings or flame readings, things of that nature to actually like divine more at some point in the future whenever I can. But for now, I just use the cards in whichever way they can come. But I don't know. I've walked down a really interesting path with tarot and divination. Shells work good too, yeah. But if I were going to use shells, I want to be like, I want to like really get into Ifa if I'm gonna be doing shell readings. I'd rather be like more tapped in with my African ancestry to do that. And I'd rather stick with bones if I was going to do bone readings. That's a very specific thing. Like a lot of people think that you could like some people use different types of charms and stuff for bone readings. I'm just going to use straight bones. If it's bone reading, it's osteomancy. If I wanted to do like all the other things, I would do like a form of geomancy, and that would be different. But I'd rather just stick it with bones. Because like different divination styles, different objects that you're using have like different backgrounds. Like charm casting is more of a Wicca thing than anything. So I wouldn't really be doing that because I'm not really into Wicca. You have a big problem about your son. What's that? And welcome in, Tiana. Blessings to you as well. But yeah, I like keeping it real like that. The only reason I would do bone divination is because a lot of the Egyptian priests and priestesses would use bones within their protection work. They would use bones um, within their burial ceremonies and everything, and they would do divination with with bones as well. It's very interesting when you really go back into it, because a lot of the mummification process involved like taking the jawbones of different like dogs, after they were dead, of course. And they had, they cleansed them and everything. They would scribe different symbols on it to for like protection, place it around where they were doing the mummification as well. They did a lot of stuff. They took hippo statues and broke off two of the was it three of the four legs, or they either broke off the left hind leg or three of the four legs, and that was for protection. That was to call upon Tara Wet, the mother, the nurturer, to keep the vessels secure and safe. Um, so it's very interesting. I delve into all that stuff. It's like a close home for me. What is that fog? Mm-hmm. Like, not a lot of people look into like why things are there. A lot of people, because I've seen a lot of people just jump into like divination and tarot because it was a fad, which is weird. Yeah, we had. I'm not even surprised that we have fog. We had really bad winds. It rained a lot, and it's just humid. Yeah, animal bones have always been a thing in workings. They've always been around. Like even the Sumerians used bones way before the Egyptians did. The Egyptians just did their own different thing. Because like I forgot who it is. People like to say the one native tribe was the most spiritual. It was really the Egyptians that were the most spiritual when you really delve down into it. Everything that they created, we're just now like reliving again because of the reset that happened after the fall of Atlantis. But like the Egyptians were beyond their time, and people just don't want to admit it yet. Archaeologists don't want to admit it. That's what I mean by people. Archaeologists don't want to admit it yet. They want to play stupid and dumb, which is fine. They can play dumb till the cows come home, but they know what's going on. They know what's going on. I mean, even the Dogon tribe, dude, they were more advanced than half the other civilizations that came after. Well, not even half, the majority of them, dude. Dang. You're in autumn? Well, I mean, no shit, 'cause like different parts of the world are in different seasons. Yeah, but that's interesting. I always like get fascinated when people say, "Yeah, it's this time." Like, really? So you're either in the past or the future relative to me. It is very funny because you're either a time traveler or you're lagging. And I'm right. For me, for you, Tiana, I'm lagging. But for me, you're just like in the future. I used to I used to have an Arabic friend, and we would joke with him all the time by saying, "Why didn't you warn us about today?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, it's already tomorrow where you're at. You didn't tell us anything was gonna happen. What's wrong with you? You're time traveling, and you're not even helping us." And you're like, "Sorry, bro, I can't." It's against the rules to tell you. It's the butterfly effect. We joke around like that sometimes. Yeah, it's definitely it's springtime over here too. It's just the rainy, groggy part. Yeah, you're just time traveling. You're ahead of everyone. You should tell us if any events are happening. in the future that we need to be aware of. I always love saying that to people who are like in like a higher timeline, well, further in within time. It's just so funny to me. It's been an inside joke for years. Mm. That is a tricky situation that you're in, Hemi. Wait a minute, what does that mean? Because I don't need to go back. Oh, that's what that is. Oops. Where did that thing go? Why did they have to be all untitled? There it is. Okay. I'll keep your son in my prayers for sure as well. But yeah, I've oddly enough never watched like Doctor Who. There was a lot of stuff going on yesterday, honestly. Like I I was asleep a lot yesterday. I was asleep a lot. See, I've heard people talk about the Weeping Angels episode. I've just never seen it. Like I remember that was a whole thing. Everyone was like scared of that episode. And I never really got it. Yeah, definitely doing cloud divination. Whenever it gets not rainy and I have a way to record outside, I love going outside because I will literally do cloud divination. I used to when doing readings. I would look up at the clouds and pay attention to the environment around me and that would be a whole thing. That's a weird thing to pop up on my timeline. I love talking to birds too. I'll talk to crows. I haven't heard crows in a long time, but whenever I rose this rising, I heard a few crows, and that made me really happy. They did a triple call, and that just means where are you, basically, or follow me. So Can you put pictures on this? Not uh not on YouTube. Unfortunately, you can't do that. Unfortunately. See, I heard I might have heard a crow yesterday. I'm not too sure, but I love crows. Anytime I see a crow, I'm always listening in. And that's like the bad part about learning how to speak crow because I'll eavesdrop on their conversations. You can like by the influxes of their voice, and again, like if you know like the crows in your area or like you like are familiar with a particular crow, you can pick up on everything and really like learn how to read them. I get all sorts of stuff. Like sometimes I'll get one cause, sometimes I'll get double cause, three cause. Sometimes I'll get like five or six, you know, the warning or like attack cause, but like they're usually flying away instead of attacking because they're not like agitated. No, same. My clear audience has been going crazy too. It's not even funny. I will hear someone say something and then get the exact opposite of what they're saying. Like I've had so many conversations the past like week where someone's saying one thing and I hear the exact opposite because it's not what they're trying to say. Yeah. Definitely like birds will do that. Birds will really give you those messages before they even hit. I love I'm gonna call it bird divination. I don't know what the hell to call it, but I love just listening to birds. Yeah, my YouTube has been disappearing for people too. Like I've literally been on a weird shadow ban. Um, it's either my channel doesn't pop up, my notifications don't work, or however. But they really tried their best to fucking put me under. And every time they did, I'd complain to them just to make them upset. I guess I have a dragon guide. I'm gonna say that I do because I have a statue of a dragon that my mom had, and I've been really attached to it, even before she passed away. So I guess that was probably what never mind. Lightning just came out. I'm just gonna say it's yes. Never mind. You know what? That's a yes. I'll take it. I'll take it. I've been really tapped in recently, a lot more than usual. Um, a lot more. Hold on, how many seconds was that? Like 8, 9, 10, 8 to 10 miles away before a storm hits. Okay, dude, I'm sorry. I love being born in the Appalachians. I learned so many stupid shit. It's just great. Learning how to count how far away a storm is. It's like so fun. I'll catch myself doing it without even meaning to. Yeah, same thing here, Goddess. Like I've been doing a lot of working with the angels, just a lot of Enochian magic, and I've just been out of bounds. I've been like, I've been all over the place. But yeah, I feel it a little bit in my third eye, but it's more of like the energetic field around me gets the hit before my third eye does. So I'll feel it. I'll feel it like out, like probably around this far out. I forgot what layer that is. Like maybe the fifth or sixth or seventh layer out from your aura or however. I can't remember. I have to look at the chart. But I'll feel it hit that first, and then it's like, what's going on? And I'll look around. Sometimes I won't notice it immediately, and I'll catch myself like pondering or looking around frantically, and it's like something's happening. But I smell storms. I smell whenever it's like even like yesterday, a really weird smell came through, and I was like, it's gonna go ahead, it's gonna like start pouring rain, and then like 10 minutes later, it started pouring rain. I'm it's something about like literally you're just tapped in different ways. I'm very like attuned to nature. I'll smell storms. I'll smell like rain. If the I'll smell how hard the rain's gonna be. It's nuts. It's so crazy, and people don't get it. I've I've met people who are like, "What do you mean you smell a storm coming?" It's like, "What do you mean? What do I mean? I'm telling you, the storm's gonna happen in about 5 minutes because of how it smells." They're like, "What do you mean? It smells like a fish outside. It's gonna fucking start spraying. It smells like pennies and nickels and fish. It's gonna start raining." Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Do you not? Does your nose not work? Like I've had to explain to people like what it smells like and everything. They're like, "You're just crazy." It's like, no, I'm not crazy. I know what's gonna happen. Yeah, hopefully, because YouTube's a big fat liar, dude. They're like, we don't believe in shadow banning. That's not real. No, it is. You shadow ban everyone like every time. Like, stop lying to yourself. No one's gonna buy. You can get sued for that. That's lying to your not even to your customers, but to your employees. Like, you better watch out, YouTube. Your AI is fucked up, and you gotta fix it. Yeah, cause like Instagram and I don't want to go. I've had Instagram. I don't want to go start building that up because Jesus, man, Instagram's sometimes worse than YouTube. Let's just get real. No, they can't. Um, like I still have it really bad to this day. But like the TV static that you'll see, I've always seen that when I was a child. Like everything, I see it moving. Like everything is pixels to me. I will always see it moving. I don't care like what it is or what I'm staring at. I will see like I've gotten a lot better at seeing auras too, which is really good. I've been wanting to see auras a lot recently. And I guess these last few like days or however has been like upgrading that for me. Cuz I can see auras around anything. Like I can see an aura around the TV. I can as like it's getting better. So I'm definitely getting my upgrades. I'm getting more of my not my clairs, but my other senses kicked in. 'Cause I used to see auras all the time. I used to be crazy at that as a child. And then as I like grew up, it got bad and it started dimming down, but it's kicking back in. Like the chair, the painting, the TV, like literally this, I can see the aura of that if I stare at it. It's just I like it. It's my gifts are coming back a lot better now. Whatever the hell has been going on is definitely soothing out. But it's like it's not like you lose your gifts. They just kind of go into dormancy. They need to get like rewired into your new being and all these other things. Using AI as therapy is like just as bad as going to someone who has no training in therapy or study of the brain and telling you advice. Like that's terrifying a little bit. But do what you got to do, I guess. No, see, yeah, that's the thing. When I wore glasses, I couldn't see fucking auras. And you want to know why you can't do that? Because the glass that your glasses have a certain type of chemical in it that actually corrodes your irises when you look through them for too long. I found that out a while ago. If you were to take copper and spiral it around your eye, whatever eye you want it to be on, most people just use their left for spiritual reasons. That draws in the electromagnetic energy around in the atmosphere, so you can see better. Um, so if like you have like copper wire like around your glasses or however, or like you wrap it with that or however, it could help your eyesight way more than just using the mirror glass that they use. Because it's something about like the chemical, the way they cut it and stuff. But I've been wanting to get into copper bending for a while. I want to like really really bad, cause I want to make I really just want to zap people. I'm gonna be honest. Um, there's like a crown you can make if you put it over your third eye. You can have like I think it's like amethyst and white quartz and clear quartz, not white quartz. And I forgot what crystal you need in the middle, but you can make a crown, and you can literally end up like shooting at electricity from that point. And I kind of want to just do that because like, listen, it's a thing. And when we start actually harnessing that power back from the earth, we're going to see what we've been calling superpowers start popping up. You know, they would be training for us to learn how to do it normally, but at the same time, we can do it ourselves. It's a thing. It really is. I firebend. I'm a triple air sign, but I firebend. Explain that. Like my strongest element I work with is fire. Um, and water. I do rain dances. I can do rain dances. I can control the weather a little bit. I've learned how to do that through like my native ancestry. But I used to do rain dances all the time outside, and it would start to rain. It would start sprinkling at least. I would be like 12, 11, so I wasn't like old, uh, or like knowing how to control the energy that much. But I would do rain dances outside. We had a little tree stump, and I would do it in a circle like all the time, and it would start sprinkling. So it's a whole thing. That's what I'm trying to hone in on working with the angels because there's certain I work with a lot of the. Give me a second. Give me a second. I gotta shut the window. It's already raining. I knew it. And it's pretty big globs of rain too. It's not like anything light. It might, I don't know, it might be hail. It's been hailing here for a while too, ever since the blood moon. But yeah, I'll pray. I'll pray for your son when it comes down to that. Yeah, you can like cuz if you need your glasses, you need your glasses, right? You can take just like like thin copper wire and wrap it around the lenses if you need. Like it doesn't have to be like noticeable, but you can put them on the top of the glasses frame, and you can do that, and that will help as well. Be careful though. It may or may not crack the glass depending on like how thick the wire is. You have to like study all of that. Damn, I'm glad I shut the window. Smacking it. Like, damn, globs of rain. Yeah, the rain is speaking. Listen, it's a cleansing time. I'll tell you that much. I know that for sure. I always listen to the rain. I'll read rain puddles. It's always strong with me. The spirit's always doing something. But yeah, I just have a really funny, interesting like relationship with spirit. Cause I mean, I'm genuinely ever since I was a child, I've always been like hyper connected. Especially to my Egyptian roots, my Egyptian and my native roots, super tap. Like you wouldn't believe. Um, I'm tapped into a lot of it. Um, Cause even as a child, I had like I had papyrus paper. I had like an altar above my bed. I didn't even know it was an altar, but I had a Anubis statue. I had a Sekhmet statue. I had the 42 laws of Ma'at, and this is when I wasn't able to like read. Well, not read the laws. I knew how to read, but I wasn't like doing it on purpose. I was just buying the things, like very intuitively just collecting shit. And then my sister ended up selling all that stuff one day. She like stole it from me and sold it all, which is unfortunate. But that doesn't matter because I got everything I need still. Sucks to be them. Yeah, I'm very in tune with my inner child. I try my best to be. I didn't really have a childhood growing up. I had to take care of my parents a lot. They were like in their 70s and 80s when I was adopted, so I was forced to take care of them. My sisters kind of put that burden on me, even though they were like able to take care of them as well. I just kind of had that burden. So I grew up really quick, and I kept that inner child alive somehow. I've let it's somehow alive. Like I, not to go into too much detail, but I don't know how it survived. The amount of like scrutiny and abuse I went through, I don't know how it's alive. I'm just glad it is, and I don't push it away. I try my best not to, at least. There are days where I end up do, but like I try and keep my vibe up with it. Yeah, exactly. When you're born with it, you never do it on purpose because it is your purpose. You don't need to try it. You just will. You might need to do some protection work then. The only like really a lot of people within like spirituality don't like doing protection work because they feel like it's bad, but like it's not. Doing protection work is really a way to keep you stable, to keep you moving forward. So don't be afraid to do protection work. Prayers are fine and all, but if you're not believing in that prayer, if you're still operating off of fear when you're doing that prayer, then it's only gonna work as much as that fear is not gonna as much as that fear is strong. Like if that fear is too strong, those prayers aren't gonna work. That backlash isn't gonna work. Shadow work, yeah. Sometimes you do more than your shadow work. Sometimes you need to pull out a candle and some herbs on a bitch. Sometimes you need to pull out petitions on some people. You know what I mean? It depends on what's going on. Yeah, fear, and when you pray and you're in fear, it activates. It literally like puts you in that lack energy. You need to know that it's gone. You need to strengthen up that internal boundary within self. Um, and like shadow work helps strengthening your crown chakra, strengthening your third eye, and your solar plexus chakra, and your sacral chakra, and your root. Well, all of them really, but the major ones is your crown, your third eye, your sacral, and your root. If you can strengthen those chakras up, and then work on your solar plexus, you'll be really fine because the rest of the heart chakra, the throat chakra will come within the solar plexus and the sacral. But if your heart chakra is blocked or messed up, you work on your third eye so you can see through what's going on. But when you look down at the base of it, it's all alchemy. So what are you adding together? You know what I mean? What component is stronger than the other when whenever you're doing prayers or whatever work you're doing, that's going to determine your outcome. It's about your intention, but your subconscious also counts with your intention as well. Yeah, exactly. I Same thing. Like just get like a brown paper bag and write some stuff on it and have like a cup of water out for your ancestors. They'll handle most of anything. Yeah, I feel that. I do a lot of petition work, and doing that is honestly so fun. Cause like with petition work, you don't have to do anything drastic. You just say like, I this is what's happening. This is what I want to have done. Honestly, truthfully and really, if you can cry when talking to your ancestors or talking to God, your angels, that's all you need. Like, actually, if you start using the power of your tears as a way for benefit and a part of like what you're doing, shit moves fast. And I mean quickly. A lot faster than you would think. If you cry and you're praying about something or you're asking for something, the divine goes into overdrive. Your ancestors go into overdrive. Yeah, always say thank you. Always say thank you, say your graces, and always ask if always tell them that if they need you to do anything that you will do it. Like, ask them, is there anything I need to do for you as well? Make sure that you're engaging yourself in that sort of sense as well, because you can't just keep going to the divine ancestors and God and be like, can you do this, can you do that? You need to do something for them. So ask them, what would you like me to do and repay for this? And it's not going to be anything drastic, it's not going to be anything like you can't do. But when they tell you to do that thing, when you start working on that thing, you'll build up that rapport, you'll build up that respect with them, and they'll be way more apt to work with you. That's why people leave offerings on their altars. That's why you see people cook food for their ancestors and stuff, because it's really them giving back to them. It's like, hey, I'm giving you this not because I want you to do something, but because I have that mutual respect for you. And then, building that relationship is so important. A lot of people don't do that though. It's like it's really weird. See, if I could bake my ancestors' food, I would. I leave them water. I got them an apple right now. I got them apple and a bagel. That's like the best I can do right now. But they appreciate it. If you don't have a lot, they won't like bash you for it. They know what you're going through. Oh my god. Yeah, banana bread, any type of bread. Honestly, giving your ancestors any form of bread, they're good. Water is like the best way to go though. Tap water, bottled water, doesn't matter. Put it in a glass or like or a see-through cup and you're set to go. Really. That's really all you need. If you can just give them water and pay attention to the water as well. If you got bubbles in your water, that's good. If you got a bunch of gunk in your water, that's bad. That means they're getting rid of some shit or someone tried to send something to you. You know what I mean? But water will tell you just about anything. Yeah, leaving honey out as well. Honey is food for the gods, so if you leave some honey out, they're doing everything. Yeah, alcohol offers the can definitely bring in the wrong spirits. Depending on what you're doing, because in some African cultures they do use alcohol to draw in the different types of ancestors. I know they do it for some of the Orishas, for certain reasons. I'm not too deep into the Orisha study though. I haven't like I've been called, but I haven't found anyone to really walk me down that path just yet. Yeah, some people use red wine for their ancestors and stuff. Mm. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people will use alcohol in that sense. Um, I've seen a lot of rituals like that where they'll use alcohol in that sense. Um, but that's going down to like Cuba and the Haitian voodoo and stuff. Those are where you start seeing that stuff at. And depending on who's doing it, depends on what's happening. A lot of people do it for paying respects though. They won't drink it though. They'll spit it out, they'll spray it out. um but again, depending on what you're doing, depends on what you're doing. You wouldn't really want to drink holy water. That's not a good thing to do. Yeah, that's not really a good thing. You would want to, like, you can bathe in it, but I wouldn't necessarily drink holy water. So be careful with that. I mean, it's not like bad. It's just like not a common practice to do. Yeah, some people will do that on graves. It's like a paying your respect thing. You'll see a lot of like New Orleans practices use that as well. But that comes straight from like African traditions. Some people, however, will use that to attract certain types of spirits to different types of graves. So we got to be careful. Oh yeah, mopping your floor with holy water. Dude, listen, it's Florida water for me. It's Florida water for me. I love like Florida water has got me out of some weird ass situations, dude. Florida water is bizarre. I've took showers and stuff in Florida water before, and it has removed some things that I didn't even know I had on me at the time. And then I had to go back and look at what they were. Florida water. It's not water from Florida. Well, it kind of is, but Florida water will get you sit out straight. It's got alcohol in it. Uh, Dude, it's a cleaning agent. Let me tell you. Yeah, a little drop of Florida water goes a long way. It's scented? Like alcohol, yeah. What I used to do, I'll tell you this, because I used to do this all the time. This is like an old hoodoo thing. I used to put some Florida water on my hands. I would rub it in. Yeah, it's like cologne-ish, but it's not really. And I would like inhale it, and that whips out your entire system. Don't do a lot because it burns and it's not good. But that shit, if you have anything inside of you, if you have any like attachments and cords on the inside of you, that shit gets rid of it. No, 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 no. It's not like water from Florida. No. It's called Florida water. But like I used to wash my hands in Florida water all the time. All the time. You're good. Cipher water is crazy. Yeah, don't drink it. Just wash and cleanse with it. Very no, you will don't breathe it either. Like very few people will say to do that because that's for different things. That is for a very specific cleansing. So I'm not saying for people to do that, but I used to do it because I had to, and it wasn't even a lot. It was like very like a drop, a very tiny drop of Florida water that I would do. It was very interesting. But I was told uh, by one of my friends who's very into hoodoo um, to do that during one point in my life because it was getting rough, and that shit knocked things out. Like I, oh my god, what are they called? What are they called? Not jinx. They're the other thing. They're not jinxes. They're something else. You can use like you can use low John to get rid of them. I forgot what they're called, but that's what I was told to use them. No, no, no. We're talking about hoodoo. We're not talking about no demons or hexes. This is different. No, this is different. I forgot what it was called. Was it a jinx? I don't remember what it was called, bro. It began with a J, I'm pretty sure. It was a very, I forgot what it was, but like I had to use Low John for a while to get rid of that. And let me tell you, if you get Low John and you use that to get rid of attachments, oh my god, dude. The amount of relief I felt the first day after using that shit was bizarre. What's the difference between hoodoo and voodoo? Location wise. Hoodoo is like more of a protective and defensive. Voodoo is more of And you can say it's more of an aggressor, but not really. It just depends on the area. But you know, they both have their purpose. Neither one of them is like good or bad. That's like an opinionated thing. But yeah, low John is LOW John. It's a low John root. Those things are crazy. It's a crazy herb. Yeah, hoodoo and voodoo are closed practices. Um, you're either called to do it or you were born in a family that did, and I was called to do it. Because funnily enough, I used to do Appalachian granny magic all the time when I was a child. So if you know anything about that and hoodoo, they're not the same at all. They're very different, but they have their very close similarities. But I was just Appalachian race, and then eventually, like a few years ago, they're like start learning hoodoo, and I was like, okay. But you'll get called. If you get the call, you'll know for it. Just don't be afraid to answer that call when you get it, because your ancestors aren't going to lead you down the wrong path when it comes down to it. Yeah. Yeah, see, a lot of you'll notice that a lot. Most people who like are into like spell are either like they're either like natural kitchen witches, like granny witches, or they'll literally just be like hoodoo practitioners without knowing it. Um, Most people with like African or Egyptian descents will be in within hoodoo practices without even realizing it. And again, it's just because of how like herbal it is. It's a very herbal, very candle, very petitiony magic form. So it's not even like you'll notice yourself doing it. It's just like your prayer work, for instance, will be different than others when you're actually like doing hoodoo and stuff. So it's very interesting. Like you won't notice it until like you're told, "Oh, you're doing this," and you're just like, "Oh shit, that's what I'm doing." That makes sense. Yeah, don't be afraid of hoodoo. A lot of people listen. A lot of people demonize hoodoo because that's what the Cubans were using in war against the French at one point. Whenever Cuba was being invaded a long, long time ago, the natives there were using hoodoo. In the French and Indian War, they were hoodoo was being used. They're terrified of it because it's actually powerful. During the slave days, hoodoo was a huge thing, which is why people were scared of it. Because when shit gets messy, it's because of hoodoo, and it's not because of anything bad. Because again, hoodoo is like a practice that's more dependent on like protection and healing. But when it needs to turn and switch around, it will turn and switch around, and then you get root work done to you, and now you can't get shit off of you because you're bound to it, and your lineage is bound to it because you want to go fuck around and find out. But regardless, don't be afraid of hoodoo. That the being afraid of whatever magic you're diving into is like a dogma thing. If you're called to do it, it's okay to. I know people that do chaos magic. They were called to do chaos magic, but do they do it to hurt people? No, they do it for a benefit. You know what I mean? Yeah, but don't be afraid. That the whole dogma entity of keeping you away from your true self, your true power, the more you are afraid of your true self, the more it is. And even then, like karma itself is a funny way to get trapped within that, because karma is not what you think it is. Karma is the action, the response of your action. Not you do good things happen to you. That's just a law of nature. That's a law of a different law within itself. Karma is literally, if I drop this, it's going to drop. If this was open and I dropped it, it would spill all over the place. It's just a consequence, the sequences of cons of an action that I've already took. Because so don't worry about karma hitting you. That's just a bunch of bullshit from like Westerners who don't know anything about the actual Eastern practices. Exactly. Like if you're watching someone get beat up, your karma is watching them get beat up and feeling bad about it, or getting or watching them get beat up and saying, well, at least I'm not getting punished by breaking them up, right? That's just you and your own observation of what's going on around you. It's just what you have to deal with at the end of the day. So don't let any like westernized belief system make you feel like karma is like an evil thing, or like it's gonna come back and like destroy you. That's a westernized belief, and a lot of people ironically run off of westernized beliefs because they don't really know where it comes from. The Eastern traditions and the Asiatic traditions, the African traditions that a lot of these laws that we know of followed, weren't really translated the best when it came to westernization. When you study things within the Western mindset, you're basically trying to cram lifetimes of logic, lifetimes of wisdom, lifetimes of experiences into like a 30-minute session, which is impossible to do. So, take your time to study different sort of things. Yeah. Writing petitions though, if you writing petitions is very fun, I'm not gonna lie. I do it a lot, but I don't necessarily do it to anyone direct. I'll either do it to every and all, or I'll do it for a benefit of like myself or like a friend if they need it, or like, service wise. Exactly. As long as you can just walk down the path and know that you've done everything that you knew that you could do without inflicting harm on someone else in a conscious form, you're fine. Like, just don't be an asshole and you're okay. That's really the only rule there is. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to have a rule, at least just don't be an asshole. Like, just do what you need to do. If it's for protection, you need to protect yourself, stand on it. If a boundary's been crossed, stand on it. But don't go out of your way to hurt people. Like, you know, other than that, there's not much really to it. Your intention really matters, but at the end of the day, it's like, why are you doing it? You know, do you know for certain? Have you done divination? Have you made sure that it's for you? And if all those things are yes, listen to your guides. If you have an uncertainty, delve into it a little bit more before you jump to it. Oh, same goddess, literally. I don't. You don't have to do anything when you are protected. You don't have to do a damn thing. You sit back and watch. In half the time, you don't even want to see it. It just happens. It's like, yep, there you go. There you were. You're the culprit, and you make eye contact with them too. You'll see them. It's hilarious because their attitude towards you will change in slight demeanors that you will pick up on. It's like, yeah, you're doing shit. I knew you were. You can't lie to me. We both know you can't lie to me, but you're still trying to lie to me. I'll let you keep doing that because I'll be up in the spiritual and you'll be doing stuff in the physical. That's the difference. But that's the thing. That's why I bring everything to the spiritual. I don't care if someone beats me to a pulp. I'm gonna cry to my ancestors. They gonna do way more than I could. I'm gonna just cry to my ancestors. I don't care. I'm a crybaby. Yeah, who cares? But who's gonna be crying after my ancestors get a hand on you? Not me. I'm gonna be sitting here having a good time, being nurtured and comforted. You're gonna be the one crying at that point, and that's gonna be fine because. Mm-hmm. It's the eye contact that makes it different. I remember this one person was doing a lot of work on me, and they lost their car. And the next day, I made direct eye contact with them. The immediate like backfire of like confidence that they had when they seen me, like it was crazy. Like if they were a dog or like an animal, their tail would have went between their legs. They shot down immediately off their pedestal, and I was like, "Don't mess with me." I don't talk to people. I don't mess with people. I just do my own thing. But if you come for me, I have an army and I'm not afraid to use them. And I don't go around boasting about it. I let just people know I'm spiritual as fuck. And I talk to my ancestors. I do what they want me to do. Leave me alone. Like don't fuck with me. I'm a cool person. I'm down to earth. Yeah, I always act with love and peace. That's the thing you have to do. I don't want no one getting hurt. I just want them to leave me alone. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. I just tell them to leave me alone. I can't do it. Like, I don't. I'm about. Okay, one time I did say I was about to beat someone up. I'm like, man, if you don't do something, I'm about to get physical. And they're like, okay, we'll chill out. And they it ended up getting fixed, but sometimes you gotta be honest and brute like that. Sometimes you just have to be like, listen, I'm at my point, and if you don't do something, I will, and they'll they'll step up, but be careful. But if you can just tell them to leave you alone, you'd be like, they doing this to me, they doing that to me, and they won't quit doing all these things to me. I want them to leave me alone. What do I gotta do? They'll tell you what to do. Sometimes they'll just tell you to just go take a nap, go rest, go lay down, we'll go handle it. You just go lay down, they go handle it. But it's a force to be reckoned with. That's why you don't mess with people like at all, like ever. You don't know the force that they have behind them, and especially if that person has a strong force behind them and they're misusing their shit. Go straight to them. Just like, look, they're misusing what they got. I didn't do nothing to them, but they misusing. Yeah, same Tiana. Because sometimes you are sent to people to kind of like help them through, and if they don't want that help, you got to put your hands up at that point. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. Like you just got to make sure because if you're in the wrong, it's that's a different thing. It's not wrong to like express your feelings, but if you do something on the physical to someone and then go cry to the ancestors, you're gonna have to get a little you're gonna get a little bit of discipline yourself because it's you gotta you gotta remember now you're being watched by them. So that's the only real thing you gotta watch out for you. And even if you don't like um even if you're not 1000% sure if you did something right or not, just ask your ancestors, did I do something wrong? Could I have done something better? Just ask about it. Don't just spiritual spankings. No, seriously, they do. They'll put you in timeout. They will put you. I've been put in timeout before. They've put me in spiritual timeout before. It's a thing. I learned my lessons pretty quick, but I can laugh about it because I just made a mistake. I can laugh about it. It's not. It wasn't a detriment. It sucked to go through, but I know why I had to go through it. I could have made a better decision. And even while I was making that decision, I was thinking, should I do this? And I still did it anyway. So I can't, I'm not gonna get mad at them for disciplining me. Like, you need to listen. You know what you did. But thank you for stopping by, Sarah. Truly. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You gotta be careful out here with it. But I mean, if you are already careful with it, you're fine. Ain't nothing to worry about. Just stick with to like what makes you comfortable and what you know you can do as well. Yeah, I love to go on live, and in the risings, the lives always have a different attitude towards them. It's usually towards like the nighttime where things get a little bit different, but rising lives are always usually the better ones, I feel. Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's what I had to learn a lot too, is not being so sensitive and standing up for myself when it comes down to things. I used to be afraid to do anything, dude. Like I'm talking, I was getting slammed by magic, and I was like, I'm afraid to do anything. And you know what my ancestors made me do to break that shell? Hotfoot someone. They said we're gonna make you hotfoot someone, and I did divination for a week straight to make sure I was like what to do because I was like, do I need to do this or why are you telling me to do this? Is this my guides? Who is this? And every time I got the same cards for a week, and I asked someone else, and they said, yeah, you might have to go ahead and do this, and I was like, what the fuck? Um, Hotfoot. It gets people to stay away. It basically is getting a hellhound on someone, and anytime they think about you or do anything to you, they get the hellfire put on them. And I had to do my first. That was how I broke my shells by doing my first hotfoot spell. That shit worked too. Oh my god, they were in the same apartment as me, in like literally like a room over, like in the same building, not building, but in the same room, right? And they ran out of the apartment. I have never in my life seen such a strong effect to a hotfoot before. I mean, I've never seen a hotfoot effect in the first place, but like, uh, I did that spell and I heard them scream bloody murder and they ran the fuck out and I was like, well, that did something. And they do not have that off of that still. They still have that hot foot spell on them and I'm not taking it off. I'm keeping it. That's my trophy. That's my reminder to them to not fuck with me. Is to keeping that hot foot spell on them and they have it. They're not getting rid of it, unfortunately. They thought it was off of them at one point and it wasn't. Um, they can't remove it. They're not in the right realm. They're not in the rights to remove it, unfortunately. Because I went to the spiritual courts. I put a petition on that shit. I said, do I have to remove it? They said, as long as they keep breaking the rules of the contract, no. And the rules of the contract is to leave me the fuck alone. They can't do that, so it's not coming off of them. So, just follow the rules. Leave me alone and it will fade away by itself. Keep messing with me, it's just gonna stay there. I don't know what to do. It's for my protection, and that's all I care about. But that's the thing. Like, nice to see you in here as well. No! Exactly. If you don't want the smoke, go away. It is that simple. Once you have certain, like, there are certain spells that you get on you that you cannot remove by just going to someone and having them remove it. Like, hotfoots are hard as fuck to remove because as long as you have that intent to do ill to that person, it ain't coming off. It's staying on there. You're marked for quite some time until you actually sit down and stop being weird and, learn your lesson. I learned my lesson. Now you gotta learn yours. But let me tell you though, some of these things are not to mess around with. That's why you gotta be careful. You know, you just gotta be careful. But even then, like when I was doing that hotfoot spell, I was so nervous. I was so nervous because I was like, if I don't want to get in trouble for this, and if it eventually got to one of my ancestors came down and smacked the shit out of me basically, and told me, look, do you want this to like sight this, dim down, or do you want this to like just be an issue for the rest of your life? I said, I want this to stop. They said, okay, then just do it. Stop being a bitch. Toughen up. We've already given you permission. You just go do it. That's why you got to bump up that defense magic. Do you you say you pray? Do you work with the angels? Talk to the angels about some stuff. Talk to Zadkiel. He'll get some shit straightened out. Talk to Gabriel. Talk to Michael, dude. They'll get some shit missed out for you. Trust me. They're not just there to goof around. If something needs to be done, they will get it done. But if you want something to truly end, call on Zadkiel. Start working with Zadkiel. Get Michael and Zadkiel on the same team. Shit's gonna work. Shit's gonna flip upside down. Same. I connect with Sekhmet a lot. I'm Sekhmet. I've been initiated by. I went through a Sekhmet initiation when I was doing my Sekhem training. So Sekhmet is really close to me. So is Anubis, obviously, but Sekhmet, Thoth, like Ra, Osiris, Isis, Tara Wet, Sobek, and I forgot who else. Menhin, that's who. Yeah, okay. I have I don't know. I stick with my Egyptian ancestry closely. I really do, but Sekhmet has been one that's staying close to me really, recently, just firewalling people away. So, because listen, if you work with Sekhmet and you need someone to and you need a defense mechanism, she can firewall you the fuck, dude. She'll literally burn anyone that comes near you. It's not even funny. Here, I'll spell it for you. I need to make sure. Yeah, I spell it. I can spell angels, right? Man, tell me why I always second guess myself when it comes down to the angels, even though I'm there. But yeah, that's how you spell Zadkiel. Work with Zadkiel. Work with Michael. They'll get some shits going for you. Yeah, a lot of Leo energy. You only pray to God? You're gonna need more defense than this God. I need you to know that. Like, a lot of people like to just feel like God's gonna be the only one that like protect them. You need more than just God. At the end of the day, you truly do. Um, like, you have to know like your whole lot, your ancestry, your lineage, your angels. Another form of defense, because God is the highest up for most religions. Like, you have the God, which is going to be the highest one. In Egyptians, it's a tomb. Everything else down that lane. Yeah, I'm still doing two card pulls. We're just talking. But whoever your highest God is, that is like the last level of protection. Like, in African spirituality, you wouldn't go talking to a Batula to help them do stuff. You'd be talking to the Oshuns before you even get to a Batula. So talk with your angels before you even start to going to your God. Talk to your ancestors before you even start going to like your angels. There's a defense line that's there for you, to take you up those roads. So don't just immediately jump up to the highest source. There are, you know, there are layers to this to jump through. That's like a big misconception when it comes down to Christianity. Everyone wants to say just follow Jesus and God. What about the angels that literally gave everyone the messages from the Most High? All these other things, right? No matter whatever it is, you're always going to have your messengers that lead to the Most High, and then they are going to have their own rankings down to as close as they can get to the physical, right? So always depend on more of that. Yeah, that's the thing as well. God is like, whenever you say just God and Jesus, that connects to the Matrix, because then like, which God and which Jesus? You really have to ask those types of questions, because like, if you're following Paul's Jesus, good luck. You're not going to get any protection whatsoever. You're going to get a lot of confusion from that. If you're following Sophia's brother Jesus, that's going to be even weirder, because why would you follow Sophia's brother? You know what I mean? Like, there's layers to this. But yeah, always. Thank you, Tiana, for saying that. Ancestors known and unknown. You will not know all your ancestors. Call on the unknown ones. They are there to protect you too. You might not know them by name, but when they hear all unknown and unknown, they're gonna move forward. But yeah, I can get the two angel cards for you, Kristen. I just been shuffling them. Mm-hmm. Call on everyone, dude. Angels, guardian angels, known or unknown. Galactical guardians, known and unknown. All of them, dude. Every layer you can. You want the protection, it's out there. You just gotta call on it. I remember I was told, like, contacting your guides and stuff is like screaming for someone in the middle of New York City. Good luck having anyone trying to figure out who you're trying to talk to in New York City. If you know them by name, they'll be there. If you can call them by association, they'll get tagged along. But other than that, they won't know where you're at or what to do. But that was a really interesting way I had it described to me. I think like 2 or 3 years ago. So definitely, like, when you're calling on them, known and unknown, because they'll get tagged along. But Christian, your angel cards is Strength, Archangel Ariel, Strength and Grace through Kindness, Self-Confidence, and Forgiveness, and Change Your Life with Archangel Shamuel. A sudden revelation that offers freedom, break free procrastination, embrace the opportunities that change brings. So there could be there could be an evolution happening that's gonna ask not only for like self forgiveness, maybe external forgiveness, but it's gonna come through like an intuitive nudge that you're gonna get, where it's just gonna be like, you know what, yeah, this did happen, and then it's just gonna fade away. But there is a new start for it coming through. Know that you're able to move forward, and do so using the heart space. Have the confidence in yourself to take this next leap. Yeah. Even then, like the 144,000 even gets convoluted too, because the 144,000 are going to be ones that's going to be saved, meaning they're going to be taken off this planet. That doesn't mean that if you're not, you know, a loyal follower, that you're not going to be taken. It's just they only have room for 144,000. So that's where another like convolution comes from when you're talking about like the Bible and stuff. Of course, Kristen, I got you. No worries. Exactly, intuitive. It is all just part of it, you know? And we'll never really know until we're there, so it's always best to just truly, you know, ride out with grace, ride out with just, you know, acceptance and love for all, and not worry about it. I I try and keep a good guidance. I really do. I do my best to educate. I kind of got what you meant, but I also wanted to really read it as slow. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, I appreciate love you. Thank you as well. I truly like, I don't know. I love just spreading knowledge. Well, thank you for stopping by. Truly, it is appreciated. Loved. It's always good to have good energy and to spread it around. So thank you so much. And it was like everyone. I hope everyone here has a good day, and I appreciate love everyone in here as well. I really do, because it's just I don't know. It's nice to just find, even if it's not like a direct soul tribe, just to find your adjacent soul tribes, to find soul tribes of your past lives that you still resonate with and didn't get to like fully flesh out with. You know, like it's just nice to be around those people, around these people. Yeah, I that's the thing. A lot of people can learn a lot from me. I I just humble myself way too much and decide not to like say that out loud. It's like it is a self-confidence thing, I will admit. Um and it is partially because of my age. A lot of people always like say that, "Oh, you don't know much because of your age," but it's like I know way more than a lot of people would think. But at the end of the day, I work on that every damn day. Like every time I go on live, I'm always working with it because I don't know, man. I've had a crazy ass life. Um, like I don't know. I don't know any other like 5 or 7 year olds that was like in graveyards, like just talking to dead people. I don't really know anyone like that, like at least in person. Like I don't know. Just even saying that out loud is weird because it's like, huh. I don't know that say because I say it out loud a lot, but it's like, why was I messing with Ouija boards at such a young age? Like, what the hell was I trying to do? Like, obviously I knew what I was doing because I was fine and I did the right. I was doing the protection and stuff, but like, what was going on? Like, in soul wise, spirit wise, what the hell was going on? Like, intuition wise, it's really weird. No, that's the thing. I don't ever want this channel to seem like a cult. I want walks of all life to come here and find a space. It's not necessarily a safe space, but it's a space where we can get in commune. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to seem like a cult. I don't want it to seem like it has a one way avenue. It you know, all forms of life can come here and chat and learn. You know, there's no judgment. There's no bashing. Yeah, CT, I still do too. Every time I see a graveyard, I'm like, I want to go there, and I don't. It's like, why? Like, who's calling me there? I don't. I don't know. I've made a lot of friends with a lot of gravekeepers though, not like physical ones. I'm talking about like the watchers and stuff, right? I've made a lot of friends with like the grave guardians. They are very cool. Unfortunately, I had to quit doing that though, for a while. Wrong location one day, and I was told to stop. So I was like, okay. I never did anything bad. I like cleaning up the graves. But one graveyard, there was one grave that didn't want to be cleaned, and I did not pick up on it, and I got in a little bit of trouble. But I like doing it. I was doing it with my dad though, so it wasn't completely my fault, but I should have been more attentive. You know what I mean? Because me and my dad would clean up graveyards all the time. Like, no one where I lived would take care of any fucking grave. Like, my dad, like, the graveyard I was at was like a family one, and my dad would mow its lawn, and I would go over there and like pick up sticks and twigs and stuff. Um, so we like, I don't know, I've always taken care of graveyards and stuff. Yeah, I remember one of my friends was doing trying to do something to me and brought me to a graveyard. Um, and when he was trying to do something, a twig off of a tree fell off and hit him in the head. And I was like, don't fuck with me. Because I knew he was trying to do something. He never once ever asked if we could go to, he never ever asked to go to a graveyard. In fact, he's not the type of person to go to a graveyard. But we went there, and I made sure that I dropped my silver coin at the gate as like as an offering to say, hey, is it cool if I come in? And I made sure it landed on heads, everything was good, and a tree branch fell right on top of his fucking head because he was not welcome to go in there. I was fine. I could have went. We still walked around, but he started getting creeped out really quick. So I was like, listen, dude, you can leave. We can leave whenever you want to. I can stay here. You can't. Just make up your mind. They don't fuck around though. Listen, dude, once you're protected by certain forces, it's different. But I've always had a calling to work at a graveyard. Like ever since I was 11, I've wanted to like be a graveskeeper. Not, I want to just like like mow the lawn at graveyards, like take care of the graves and stuff. That's just been a calling for me. That's probably what I'm gonna do when I'm like 60, 70 years old, if anything, right? But that's just been something I've been called to do forever. So I just I don't know. I've done a lot of stuff with the dead. Nothing like in vain. Um, just taking care of it. It's just how it is. I don't know. And it's fun. It really is. Um, I won't touch a grave though, unless I'm like told to. Sometimes there was one time where we had to some of the items were knocked down, and I kept getting a calling to like fix them. And I had a coin in my pocket, so I kept flipping it, and I was like, do I put this back up here, or do I leave it on the ground just to make sure? But whoever was there wanted their grave, like their stuff around their grave, like put up. And then like a few weeks later, my dad got a thank you from the person that was from the family whose person was buried there, because they were like, thank you for putting this stuff back up on the grave, and they were like, oh, I didn't do that. That was my son. So he came back home and told me about that. I was like, okay, but you got to be careful with that, because sometimes stuff is knocked over for a reason, and you don't want to put it back up. So always have some form of divination on you. Always, if you're doing stuff like that, always have a form of divination on you. You never know. No, I always do. Like my it was awful because my mom's tombstone was treated like absolute shit. Like we went there one day, like a month after her burial, and the tombstone was like knocked completely over. Like that graveyard was not taken care of. So my dad and I would go up there and take care of it all the time. I have huge respects in that cemetery. It's beautiful. Um, it's I don't know. I have a lot of like I got credit. I have spiritual credit when it comes to like working with certain entities because I just be going around helping them. Just say, you need some help. You want me to clean this for you? I got you. Um, I remember there was a hike I was going on with one of my friends, and I was looking for like some tree nuts for my altar, and I found one that was a little bit rotted. And my friend was being an asswipe, and he poured out his drink on top of the grave and said, "Pouring out for the homie." Try, he's pale as fuck. First of all, he ain't got no like there's not a lick of New Orleans or Louisiana in his body. I'm gonna just keep it a buck, okay? And I said I wouldn't do that, and I put down I had a little tree nut, those like green ones, and it was a little rotted, but I put it down by the grave and said, "This is what I have for you right now. So I hope this is good. I hope this is good enough for you. I'm sorry if I don't have anything else because I want to show my respects. Like you can't just pour on. They don't know you. They're not your homie. Shut the fuck up. They don't know you like that. So I had to go make sure that they're not gonna get mad at us. And I put the little tree nut by the grave. And I was talking to him and said I was really hoping to find one that wasn't rotted. And guess what came rolling down the hill? A very fresh, clean one that wasn't rotted. And it hit me on the back of my foot. A green tree nut that wasn't rotted. And I was like, thank you so much. That was my offer from them. They said, appreciate that. And they gave me that. You just talk. Listen, you take care of the spirits, I'll take care of you. It's not a joke. I've done it my entire life. They love you. If you love them, they love you. Just take care of them. Even if you don't know them, and if like you feel called to do something for them, make that generous offer. You just never know. And I got that tree nut, and I put that shit on my altar. And let me tell you, my ancestors were super happy, like very happy. I had crazy blessings for the next week. Before it started to rot, and that shit was nuts. It was wild. Yeah, we've been busy. We just been talking. We've been talking about graveyards today. That's the topic. Yeah, what was it? 2 days ago or like 3 days ago it was crows. Today we're talking about graveyards. Yeah, that's the thing that's difficult. Having family members that don't believe you is definitely a downer. I never talked to my dad about any of my experiences. He never really was the person to talk about to like that. But I would talk to my mom sometimes about it. Just her being raised in Appalachian. Like my dad was raised in Boston, Massachusetts, and my mom was in the Appalachian area. So we had like I grew up around like my dad came from a family of Salem. Like we literally one of his sisters had a Wicca wedding. My mom was Appalachian, so I just had a both. I had both, honestly. I like I was just adopted into a witch family. I gotta keep it a buck and real, like. And then here I am, the agglomeration of like almost everything you can think of, and it's just how it is. I've never seen a yew tree before. I want to go look at. Aw, these are cool. No, see, that's the thing. I don't like it when they start saying it's like, oh, these are the fuck. Oh, I love these trees. There's a park that has some of these. Well, they're not this exact, but they look very similar too. I love these type of trees so much. Oh my god. I am the generation. Listen, I'm taking all forms of life and mashing it into one somehow, and it's working. I don't question it. My ancestors get along. My angels get along. Everyone's happy in the astrals. I guess I could be happy too. What kind of star was it? Was it two triangles, or was what did the star look like? Because I could probably knock it down to you for you. But yeah, like if you know what you're supposed to be just by like the walk of life you have. I've had such a weird like I don't get it. The more I like talk about it, the more weird it is. It's difficult being a generational curse breaker though. I will tell you, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. Especially if you have witch wounds. If you have a witch wound that basically is like a sacral chakra blockage, it keeps you in a solar plexus chakra blockage. It keeps you from your creativity. It keeps you from your from your confidence in your work, and you'll notice that you have one because you can do work on other people, but you can't do anything for yourself. Yeah, if you have a hard time doing workings on yourself, but you can do it for other people, like that, it's a witch wound. It's part of a witch wound. It's like where you feel guilty of like a past life where you did things for yourself in like a gluttonous way. It affects you in this lifetime. I used to have one really bad. I've been working through it. That's why I've been working with my angels so much recently, is to try and break that, because it's like if I just work with my angels in this sense, it's going to lessen that effect. But you got to work through it because it's a thing. You can do whatever the fuck you want for other people, but if you try to do it for yourself, it won't work as fast or it won't be as good. It's so weird. But sometimes you can't do anything at all. It really depends on like your specific like outlining. But mine in particular was I can do shit for other people, but I used to not be able to do anything for myself. Like it would end up awful. So it was really interesting. It was super interesting. But we're working through it. Nah, see that's the thing. It depends on like your past life. If you don't do any like past life regression work or know about what you were doing in the past life, it can get strenuous really quick because you won't know. You won't get what's going on. You won't know like what you need to heal from. You'll just think that I can't do it for myself and that's okay. No, you can do it for yourself. There's something blocking you. There are some people that have that case to where they can't do it for themselves, and it's not because of like a blockage. It's just because that's what they signed up to do this lifetime. It depends. It really depends. So like learning your past life, learning your ancestry is super important. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Mine was definitely an overgiving, and then I used it on myself way too much. I had a very bad imbalance in one of my past lives that I've been working through. Yeah, definitely. Ask your guides and your angels what you need to do moving forward with it, because sometimes it's not as a simple fix as you think. Sometimes it's just that you need to keep practicing whatever art form you're doing. And other times, it is like chakra work, root work, shadow work. And yeah, MJ, you can. What deck do you want to use? The tarot deck, the shadow deck, the angel deck, or the animal deck? And I can get you your two cards. But yeah, it depends. So, because sometimes you don't have to work with any of the chakras. Sometimes it's something different. It might be with chakras for you, and if it is, like again, just like really like ask and do divination on stuff like that, just to like help you through it. Because there's not gonna be a one all fix all. Sometimes you have to do multiple things. Other times you have to do one thing. Working on receiving, work with your feminine energy. Really work on relaxing, work on resting, work with your heart space more. So do a third eye heart chakra. Um, hold on, hold on. Let me look this up real quick, MJ. What did you want it on? Is there like anything in? Did you want it on anything specific or just a general? Because there's something I can actually link you for that. There's this channel that does like chakra mashups. Um, it's very interesting. Just general. Okay, I got you. That's for the higher chakras, but where's that channel even at? Hold on. I don't know if he would have the one I'm looking for, and if not, I'm going to work on it. But there's this channel. Yeah, here it is. Here's the sacral and solar plexus combined that you can do. But I used to use this channel a lot because it literally mashes like different chakras up. He does like multiple ones and stuff. So it's really interesting. It's chakra mashup. It's just like mixing, just like it's like working on multiple chakras at once. So instead of just working on the heart chakra and then the third eye, it would be doing the heart and the third eye at the same time. It's a bit of an energetic overload, but if you are able to handle it and sit through it, it helps a lot because it takes out the issues not only for those chakras individually, but for the like the cords attached to it. So you'd be working with your solar plexus chakra and ridding that of anything, your sacral chakra, and then anything that those two are leeching off of each other with, it is also going to be fixed. So if you have a bunch of creativity but not enough passion to push out that work, it's going to fix that as well. So that channel I linked, that video I linked is for the sacral and solar plexus, but like you can find some very interesting ones in there. He's the owner of that channel has done a wonderful job with it. But let me get your 2 card real quick, MJ, before I get too distracted, because I will get too distracted. So first we have the 8 of Wands. You might have been told or felt like you needed to do something at a certain point, and you did. There's a bit of a missed beat happening on with the 8 of Wands. So be aware of that. If you're holding on to any idea that you really feel like you need to do at this time, definitely do that. It might be like a day or two or like, however late, but it's not going to really affect anything right now, but you've missed a beat, so really take care of that and work with it. Move forward with an open heart. Don't let the fact that you have missed that exact marker slip you up, but definitely move forward at this time with serenity, with an open heart. Let the divine clean this idea out of you. Let the divine move through you so that you can do whatever is on your mind right now. So that's not sticking, holding you back or taking up room for new things to come in. But right now, that's what they really want you to do is like call on your guides to get to ask for the strength, the energy to move forward with certain agendas that you're needing to move forward with, because it's time to move forward with them. Before it begins to become a headache, because the 8 of Wands reverse, it can turn into the 9 of Wands really quickly with that. So just be very aware and move forward without like hesitation. So don't be like, oh, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think this. I don't think that. Just really move forward with determination at this time. What did you say? Oh my God, man! I forgot to release that song yesterday. No fucking way. Why my friend call me out like that too? Wow. I don't get a message from one of my friends in months. And I sent him a message a while ago saying that a song was going to be released yesterday. And he messages me today. He says, it's the 16th. Where the hell is it? Like, man, get off me. I forgot. I'll release it today. Damn. Goodness gracious. Depends. Depends. How many crows are there? Because you can count crows. Oh, goodness. But yeah, depending on the crows depends on, it can also depend. Crow counting is a very old way of like, I guess, bird divination. You want to call it that? I can't stop calling it bird divination. Well, I have not heard from this man in like forever, and now he's just up spamming me. At least he's doing well. I'm happy he's doing well. Well, I mean, it depends. The context around what they're doing also depends, as well as like whatever uh where whatever you're getting your information from, because different belief systems will have different ways of interpreting it. But the best, yeah, but the best way to go about it is what Christian said. Just be observatory, watch what they're doing, listen to them, count them, watch the body language. Just listen to your intuition when it comes down to it, because they'll let you know. But it really just depends, because like it would be nice to pinpoint it down to one thing, but relatively that's almost impossible. Because you'll go around to different lives and they'll say different things. Like some people still think that crows are like bad luck and murder, and that's not it at all. Like some people say, you see a crow, that means someone's dead. Like no. Some people like it depends on where you come from. What? It's unavailable. What the heck? What is the channel name? I'll link the channel because I can't read it. But there's the channel. Let me click on it, see if it works. Oh my god, that scared me. I got jump scared. But that link should work. Yeah, we still do. We still do call the Conquest. I mean, that's kind of what it is. If we're really going to talk about it, that's kind of what it is. I digress, though. I'm not going down that rabbit hole today. Oh, man. Can you get it? Yeah, you can. I was just about to put up the angel cards, Tiana. You called just in time. I was just about to get off and do some other stuff within the day. But you got it just in time. I got you. If anyone else needs a reading, let me know now. Or forever hold your peace. It can be from any of the decks. The tarot, the shadow, the angel, or the animal. Just let me know. But if not, forever hold your peace. Until I go live again. I don't know when that's going to be. Probably later today. If the storm doesn't cut out the internet, which it shouldn't. I don't think it's going to storm again. I don't have the window open, so I can't really tell. I get that, Tiana. Yeah, it makes sense. It really just depends on what line of life you come from and where you're walking, and because like different people will say different things when it comes down to it. It's all about what resonates with you, right? But we have Tiana, we have the two of Raphael, two hearts dedicated to creating something wonderful. Kindred spirits, don't give up on those you love. And perspective, Archangel Shamuel. There's a better way. Pause for reflection and insight. Dare to be different. So pay attention to how you're doing things. There could be a more heartfelt way of moving forward at this time. But there's a different path in front of you that you can take and would be more beneficial for you. Really take time to delve within or ask around for help at this time to truly see the path that you need to take. It's not that you're on the wrong path, but there's a path more attuned to who you are desiring to be and who you are currently. Um, and that would just be of more benefit to you and moving forward in future events. Is how that's coming through. But yeah. Okay. Talk with them. Well, I mean, obviously you probably have been, but see what let me see here. Let me think before I start speaking. See about an easier way of resolution. Maybe you might be putting too much weight on yourself. Maybe they might be putting weight on you as well. However, just step back and kind of open your eyes with the situation, see it from a spiritual point of view, and call on Archangel Shamuel to kind of help you see through the fog of things. I think that's the best. I would believe that'd be the best advice for you moving forward. But without further ado, um, thank you all for stopping by and being in here. I am gonna hop off. I'll be back later, of course. But it's always lovely to be here and talking with you all. I truly do appreciate love. Stop saying appreciate. I appreciate love all of you so much. I love all of you to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. If you need anything, the email's there, the website's there for services. However, but regardless, I love each and every one of you all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. And I will.